Hello and welcome back to the NUFC opinion blog for the next episode of the NUFC Nostalgia series. This week we won't just be looking at one instance in Newcastle's history, but two, looking at both the FA Cup semi-finals in 1998 and 1999 respectively. The first of which was on Sunday the 5th of April 1998, which saw Newcastle beat Sheffield United at Old Trafford in front of a crowd of 53,000, alongside huge numbers of Newcastle fans watching from home. Of course, this would be the opportunity to reach Newcastle's first FA Cup final since 1974. In the game itself, which finished 1-0 to Newcastle, Alan Shearer scored the only goal of the game in the victory over the Blades. In the previous round of the quarter-finals, Newcastle beat Barnsley 3-1 to reach the semi-final. Barnsley themselves knocked out Manchester United, who were the favourites for that year's FA Cup, and of course Newcastle would go on to face Man United in the following year's FA Cup final, which we'll get onto in just a minute. Sheffield were a Division 1 side at the time, so Newcastle did go into the ties favourites, but of course, as we all know, favourites mean nothing in the FA Cup. You know, there's been so many upsets, hasn't there, in the past, for all the FA Cup, the past decade as well, of course. Wigan was probably the biggest one, winning the FA Cup, and of course getting relegated from the Premier League in the same season not too long ago. Shearer's 60th minute strike, though, was enough to win the tie on the day, and Newcastle would go through to face Arsenal in the final of the 1998 FA Cup, who also beat Wolves 1-0. Wolves weren't in the Premiership at the time, so once again, Arsenal were firm favourites on that occasion. Now, we will look at the FA Cup finals in more depth in another video, but of course Newcastle unfortunately lost to Arsenal on the day, but as I say, we'll look at that in more depth in due course. So now moving on to the second year in succession, the 1999 FA Cup semi-final, which was on Sunday the 11th of April. So for the second year in a row, Newcastle are back at Wembley for another FA Cup final after a win against Tottenham Hotspur. Once again, the tie was played at Old Trafford, with the FA using these neutral venues for the semi-final fixtures. The semi-final over 90 minutes was 0-0, but it took extra time for Newcastle to seal the deal over Tottenham. Alan Shearer scored a brace in the second half of extra time, which was just enough to see Newcastle over the line on that occasion. The first goal was from the penalty spot, and the second was just 2 minutes from time, which, as I say, just about got Newcastle over the line. Of course, going into the extra time in a FA Cup semi-final is pretty nerve-wracking, although I haven't unfortunately experienced it myself as a Newcastle fan. I can imagine what the feelings must have been like on the day, leaving it till literally the last minute to seal the deal. Tottenham incidentally shouldn't have had a penalty themselves in normal time. There was a Newcastle handball, but the referee, fortunately for us, didn't see that, and of course you do need a bit of luck in the FA Cup to get through, don't you? There's been plenty of teams who have caused an upset here and there, get that little bit of luck just to get across the line, and of course we had that on the day there just to seal the deal. In the other semi-final, Man United beat Arsenal to meet us obviously in the final. It did take 2 legs to beat Arsenal for Man United, and incidentally, that was the last ever semi-final replay in the history of the FA Cup. Of course, now they use Wembley for the FA Cup semi-finals, and it's just played over 1 leg using penalties at the end if need be. The first leg was 0-0, with the second leg ending 2-1 to Man United, with goals from David Beckham and Ryan Giggs in a pretty stellar game. I believe it was considered to be one of the most impressive and the most spectacular in the FA Cup history. As I say, we will mention the FA Cup finals in more depth, but of course Newcastle did unfortunately go on to lose that lose the final for the second year in succession. Would have been great again to see Newcastle bring a bit of silverware home. We've been waiting for that for such a long time, haven't we? But fingers crossed, things might perk up a bit in years to come. And just looking back to both those days, of course, as I say, it was a bit of a disappointment, but they did well to get through to the final nonetheless. So as per usual, please do get in touch on the usual social links if you've got any comments or thoughts on the games that you'd like to share. And that leaves me to say thank you very much for watching, and away the lads.